Welcome everybody. Good evening, cheesemongers, chefs, lovely people who want to use fantastic cheese tools. We are here this evening with this is a very special trade webinar, invite only for people who are behind the counter or using cheese tools all the time. So very welcome to everybody. For those of you that don't know, I'm Tracy Colley, Director of the Academy of Cheese. We've been going since May 2017, have 5,290 something since the other day, people studying with us from 91 countries. We're absolutely delighted to have BOSKA as one of our patrons this year. And BOSKA have been around for many, many years. We're going to hear all about that from Tom and Alethra in a minute. They have set up this magnificent display. You can see the glow of orange above my head. And it's not just my hair, of all those beautiful cheeses that are there. So Alethra is going to tell you more about this, but there is a quiz this evening to win some of the BOSKA tools. And we've been using them since the World Cheese Awards and Young Cheese Monger of the Year competition. And they are excellent. We are absolutely loving them. So we hope you enjoy learning more about them and then get to use the tools. They are, the quiz is multiple choice. It's 15 questions. It's a bit of fun, but do stay observant during this webinar and then you've got a big chance of winning. Okay, so I'm going to hand over now to the gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous singing star, Alethra, who is there over in Holland at the moment, in the Netherlands, sorry, and they're going to, hang on, let me spotlight you. Woohoo! Welcome, welcome. Hello.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Tracy. Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you all for joining. Good evening. Great to have you here. I hope you have a great start of your week. And you made it this far on your Monday. So maybe end of the day after a rough weekend, hope you're still sharp. We're sharp here today because we have a lot of knives.
Sharp knives as well.
Sharp knives as well. You're going to see that. Yeah, thank you that you joined the first webinar, a collision of two worlds from the UK, the Academy of Cheese, and from the Netherlands, BOSKA. We're very, very excited. So I want to thank the Academy of Cheese first, and in particular Tracy and Rachel for giving us the opportunity to do this. Yeah, we're excited, and we're going to make a fun night. I'm gonna start with, what can you expect tonight? Well, I'll give you a short introduction about BOSKA as a brand, and then my colleague Tom will take you on a short but sweet journey about everything you need to know, about our favorite counter tools and cutting tools. But first, a little bit about the brand. And we love cheese, and we love cheese so much that we decided to take it upon ourselves to show the world how cool cheese is. And the legacy of BOSKA started in 1896, where cheese lover and blacksmith Willem Bos designed the first tools to help the cheese traders, the cheese farmers, because we started in a small town in Bodegraven, and let me tell you, there's no place in the world where is as much cheese stored as here in Bodegraven, because of hundreds of years ago where the cheese market started. So he designed the first cheese tools, and I think you're maybe familiar with this one. Because Willem Bos designed this as well, and I dare to say there is no cheese shop in the Netherlands that does not have this knife. So this is our legacy right here, and it's very sharp. And that innovative mind of Willem Bos and his spirit made BOSKA where we are as we are today. But where are we today? Well, we're still in Bodegraven and we're still designing our own tools. And we do that by these pillars that I'm not sure if they're very clear, but we want to design our tools with distinctive quality, and we can guarantee this because professionals have been using it for years and we have knowledge gained by all these years. So yeah, we are sure that we make tools that are having the quality that we want. We do it with a timeless design, and we're very happy to be rewarded by this with a couple of awards. And we want we want the tools to be fun and smart to use. And of course, we want them to be somehow affordable, because it's our dream to have a BOSKA counter tool on every counter in the world. So yeah, used by every cheesemonger in the world. But not only cheesemongers, because after 2 generations, when the great-great-grandchild of Willem Bos took over and started to spread the cheesy word around the world, we also focused on the cheese lover at home. So not only the professional, but also the customer at home. And I'm talking cheese fondues in every size, in every shape, cheese boards. And from cheese, we went to chocolate fondue. And from chocolate fondue, we went to more kitchen tools like knives, dining boards, and we even have a collection of pizza wares. Because, yeah, let me tell you, the knife like this is also very easy to cut your pizza with, we found out. And so far, I think for me, that's the short version of BOSKA as a brand. So
Fantastic.
I'm almost going to give the camera to my colleague, but before that, I have 2 more things to say. And that is, if you have any questions, please feel free to use the chat so that we can ask them either during this webinar or at the end. And as Tracy already said, we have a very fun quiz at the end. And of course, yeah, we need a winner, and a winner gets a prize. And we have a great combination of, can you see this over here?
Yes, yeah.
The collection of the 3 knives together with the Cheese Commander Pro. And if you're thinking, what is that? Tom is going to tell you everything about it. And last but not least, the Brock foil dispenser from our 1896 collection, which I think looks fantastic. So that was it for me. Tom, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Yes.
I'm just going to say, chaps, all of those wheels behind the guys tonight are actually dummies, which I think Tom's going to tell you about, but there is one real one hidden. You were just telling us, weren't you? Is that part of the quiz, to find the one real one?
Well, actually not, because it will be cut.
So you will find
you're going to cut it.
Yeah, we asked every colleague here today in the office to find the wheel, and there was only one that could find it. So
fantastic. And then the other little delight is, if we get very bored during doing the multiple choice questions, Alethra is actually a singer in this amazing band. Just Google her name, not during the webinar. She sings beautifully. So I've been trying to persuade her for weeks to sing. And the name of your band, tell us.
It's Still Blue. Sounds like Blue Stilton, but
I love that. I love it. We're sticking with that story, remember.
Yeah.
Still Blue is the band, and they're really cool. So when you get a chance afterwards, watch this beautiful woman sing. We may persuade her to sing a few lines later. Okay, Tom, you're standing there very patiently. Thank you, Alethra. You're an absolute star. Thank you so much. I'm going to put Tom on now. Here we go, Tom, you're up. Tell us all about these tools.
Well, as Alethra said, one of our legacies is the Dutch cheese knife. So I thought, let's start with the Dutch cheese knife. So what I might be talking about more. We have this whole collection of tools here on the counter. I will talk you through them and why these come in very handy in your cheese shop, and how you will cut cheese more efficiently and have less waste, because every bit of waste could be solved. So let's start with the Dutch cheese knife. So if you would ask anyone to cut a wheel of Gouda like this, and they start cutting it with a big knife, they will start to wiggle. And why is that? Well, because cutting a big cheese like this is very hard. But when you start to wiggle with a straight knife like this, it can be very hard, because you will put the knife on here and all your strength will be divided over the whole length of the blade. So what did Willem Bos thought? That can better. We can do better. So that's most importantly the biggest difference, because between a normal cheese knife and a Dutch cheese knife, as you can see, it is bent. So what happens when you put a bent knife on the cheese? You have only one single point where the knife is touching the cheese, so all your force will be focused on this point. And when you start wiggling, all your strength will be focused on this point, wiggling to here. So having a bent knife, while wiggling it, you will go to cheese much more easy. You will also, for your personnel, it's more easy to cut with this than to cut with a straight knife. But yeah, we know there is some personal preference with the knife, so use what you want. But we like this one in the most, also because it has Dutch in it. There's also another big difference, because as you can see, we have one length handle and one cross handle. While the straight knife has two length handles, we can use the cross handle to steer your way through the knife, and you can use that length handle to put pressure on, so you will be cutting more easily than with the other knife. Yeah, but also I really am sure that you are all very strong, rock solid, seasoned cheesemongers, but everybody needs new personnel sometimes. And to be honest, using a knife like this takes some practice. So Joop and Willem Bos thought, how can we do better? So they were thinking a lot, and they came up with a new idea, and I'm going to show you that one. So let's go to the Cheese-O-Matic, which is over here. So once we have moved to the new place, here we have the Cheese-O-Matic. So what is at first the Cheese-O-Matic was just a wooden board with a wire attached to it. Nothing more, nothing less. Today it has evolved in the Cheese-O-Matic as we have it here. Yeah, so at first, why is it better to use the Cheese-O-Matic or more easy? Well, the biggest difference is it cuts with a wire, and a wire is strong, not sharp. So I can cut myself without cutting myself. Everyone can do this, even a 15-year-old who just got a job at a cheese shop next to school, which comes in very handy because you have a lot of those today. And it also gone very quick, so you don't want a big learning curve for your personnel. Yeah, another big feature of the Cheese-O-Matic is that it is a cutting board. And everybody who has a cheese shop knows I have a lack of space. But this machine, when you put these off, you have a cutting board. So you have more room on your counter. It doesn't get in your way, only when you want it. Yeah, and another big difference between using a wire and using Cheese-O-Matic is that this has a very short wire. And you are thinking, how do I cut a big sheet of Gouda with a small wire? Well, it has a spring attached to it, so I can put it to the front, I can put it to the back. And by using a spring, we can use the short wire for big cheeses without your arm ending up in the rest of your cheeses. Comes in very handy when all your colleagues are walking behind you. Yeah, so this Cheese-O-Matic, how do you use it? I will show you in a minute, but first I will explain a little bit. When you put the cheese on here, and you will pull it, you can imagine it will slide off your counter, but it won't. Why is that? There are anti-skid profiles underneath, and if that is not enough and you think I want to secure it even more, it is possible also with other tools to use these counter hooks to get them under here, and they can hook behind your counter. If that's not enough, you can also mount it to your counter. Comes in handy when somebody wants to steal all your, no, not your cheese, your tools. Yeah, so let's start cutting. At first, let's say my wire just broke. Oh no, this line of 500 people and my wire just broke. No worries. Let me show you how to fix it. So when your wire breaks, probably over here, you unscrew the handle, which is very ergonomic. And it's loose. Then you flip the machine. Oh, there it is. And here you have, as you can see, the slider profile where the spring is in. So what I do, let me put it over so like this. You grab one of these or a knife, but you don't want to use knives where they're not supposed to be used for. And you have the slider over here, which goes back and forth when you're cutting. So I have on the other side my hand on the wire. I will put it a little bit down, so there are two holes, and when I put it down, the holes are in front of each other. I put with my right hand, the hand on the wire, I push the wire out, and there you have it. That's the broken wire. Grab the new wire, the same, but then the other way around. So you have your wire. You can actually already put it in between over there. Push it down, pull the wire, and it's there. So now you have a brand new wire for all your customers, ready to cut some cheese. The handle, put one part on it again. Then you have the loop of the wire onto there. Other middle part. And that's on there. And twist it. Also, as you can see, this middle part is loose. That's because when you pull the wire, it will twist. And the middle part will twist with it. So it's always focused on the cheese. So now, there we have it. Cheese-O-Matic with a new wire. Shall we start cutting? Have you spotted the real cheese already? Have you seen it? Which one do you think it is?
I have no idea.
Maybe this one?
No, one.
No, not this one. Maybe
Watch your toes.
this one? No, also not this one. No, we have this one over here. This is the real cheese. So the cheese we have today is a Gouda Jersey cheese. Got it from the Sterre, also here in Bodegraven, one of the big warehouses with cheeses. So what do we do first when we have the cheese? Like I said, wires are strong, not sharp. So they mean they won't cut your finger, but they also won't cut through rind in the first place. So what we have to do is score the rind with this scoring knife. But you only need the first part. So let's do that. Here the wire will enter the cheese. So we put it in and score it, just like that. Maybe a little bit to the other side. Here you go. That's the first part. I now have used these cheese stoppers over here, like this. If you have a smaller cheese, you can put it in some other holes more to the front, and you will create a smaller circle for smaller cheeses, or to the back for bigger cheeses. But now the middle one is perfect for Gouda. So where did I score? Over here. And you grab it. You make sure the wire is in the groove, and we put it back. Did that look hard? No. Did I practice it a lot? Maybe. But here you have it. Do you see how clean this cut is? Do you see it?
Yes, I see it.
Yes. And it's also very straight. So, as you can see, it's a very straight cut. There are no damages to the cheese. While when you're using a knife, you can have that some cheese will crumble a bit, and that's a waste. You don't want cheeses to crumble, because every crumb that falls on the floor could be sold. Then again, we have a cheese which is of consistent texture, so there are no big nuts in it or other very hard stuff. And that's one thing you shouldn't use when, why you shouldn't, you have to cut cheeses with a consistent texture, because strong wire will cut not through nuts, for example, but it will draw the nuts through the cheese, so that will damage your cheese. If you have cheeses like that, then you still have to use a knife. And now I can imagine, well, maybe this machine still is a bit too big for my counter, or yeah, maybe you want something simpler. Let's go to the next one. We'll go to here. This is the Cheese Commander Pro. So you could see this as the simpler version of the Cheese-O-Matic. So let me tell you quick the differences between it. As you may see, handle is on the other side. It's at the front, and here it is at the back. In Holland, we cut cheeses like this, but we also see in maybe other countries also in Holland, you have smaller cheeses. And when you put a big cheese on this machine, you need 2 hands for the cheese. That means when you put it on, you already want the handle to be on the right side. But when you have smaller cheeses, you would like the handle to be on the side when you're done cutting, so you can move on immediately. So with smaller cheeses, you can put them on this with 1 hand, having the handle in your other hand, pull it through, and then it's done already, and you could go to the next one. Also, the Cheese-O-Matic also doesn't have anti-skid profiles, but can have anti-skid feet or suction cups. So it will suck on your counter and won't come loose. Yeah, it also has a spring profile, but there's one more thing that is really, really helpful with the Cheese Commander Pro. Yeah, so how will I explain that? Well, it's unbreakable. Look at that. Still there. Still working in one piece. And that is why it's really a good workhorse for in your counter. Also, we see that some stores will have a Cheese-O-Matic, but when it gets really busy, they grab this one from under the counter. They won't want to put it on there again. So that's why it's unbreakable. You can't break this, but it can't be used as a cutting board, unfortunately, because this material can have impact, but it can't have a knife because these are really sharp. I bet you know some of you really have these not anymore in your probably had a knife in your fingers, but that's okay. Yeah, so that was the Cheese Commander Pro. So now I have cut half a wheel of Gouda. And what do we do next? What do you do next with a wheel of Gouda? Can maybe the people, I want to ask you to put in a chat, what is the best part of the cheese? So let's see what you think. What is the best part of the cheese?
Well, there's just one other thing dropped in the chat actually. Before, oh, Andy. Ooh,
The heart. The heart. We've got the center part. The heart.
all of it.
Well, I already can see that you know your stuff. Because it's the heart, indeed. It's the heart, because the cheese ripens from the outside to the inside. Don't have to tell you that. So, when you cut cheeses, and you only you have half the wheel, and then you will create the wedges with it. If you do it now, you get these very sharp points. And what happens with a sharp point? It dries out the quickest. And that's a waste, because the point is the best part of the cheese. We don't want to waste that, right? So, you want to remove the heart. Also, when you want customers to taste the best part of the cheese, you want to sell the cheese, you want them to taste the heart of the cheese, because it's the best, and they will probably buy the cheese when they think it's nice, and the heart is the nicest part. So we want to remove the heart, as you can see here. Here. So next we have the dividomatic. Oh, that was my cheese tester. So we go to this one, the Cheese-O-Matic. If I want to pull it up now, that's because this knife is really sharp. So you want it in a safe place when you're not using it. That is why we have the pin over here. So we want to use it, remove the pin. Now we can pull it up. I have these pins over here to position it. And just like the Cheese-O-Matic, the dividomatic can be used as a cutting board. Can you see that? Yes. So let's position it over there to the middle. Are we ready? And there we go. See that? That's the middle part. Pull it up. Let's remove this. The best part of the cheese, the heart. With this heart, you will conquer the heart of your customers. So let's get it to here. And then we have the cheese with its heart cut out. Then you want to create the wedges with a blunt tip, which do not dry out. Also a fun fact, wedges with a blunt tip tend to look bigger than when they have a sharp tip. So we can do it with dividomatic again. So let me change the knife. I don't know if you can see it very good, but this was the hard knife, and we also have the straight knife. So let's put that on. There you go. Next one on it. If you think this is too much of a hassle, you can always buy two machines. Put two knives next to each other. So there you have it. Then the cheese stoppers I used for this one can also be used on the dividomatic. Position it, and then you will always be cutting to the middle. So let's change it to there. The customer says, yeah, well, I think this is the best. I want this much. Put it down and over there. There you have this part. Next one. There you go. That easy. But you can also use, of course, if you'd like it, Cheese-O-Matic. The big advantage of that is now you don't have to score it because the cheese is already opened. and therefore you don't need to score it. Look at that. That's one. Next customer. Front. Next wedge. There you go. Very easy. As you can see, there is a big difference in cutting with a wire and with a blade, because now you really can see the difference. Can you see it actually? Not really. Well, because with a knife you will pull the cheese a little bit more with the knife, and with a wire you won't. Yeah, can you have it in front of the camera? Is it possible to see it?
Not really. A little bit by that bottom hole.
Yeah, you see it's a bit pulled.
All right.
How does it work with a aged Gouda? So we've got a lot of British and Irish aged Goudas, which would be a bit firmer.
Yeah.
Which tool would you recommend for that, Tom?
If you have a really aged Gouda, or a really hard one, or a Parmesan, this will probably be kind of hard. Also, the wire will break faster, but you can cut up to semi-hard cheeses and some hard cheeses with it. If you have really hard cheeses, we advise to use the Parm Pro. If I have some time left at the end, I will use that also, because that also has a thicker wire, so it won't break very quick, and it's also very easy to use, very light.
Okay.
I know some cheese shop that also have a Parm Pro for all of their cheeses, so that's also possible. Yeah, but now we have used this one, and this one, and this one. Let's go to another one, because now you want to pack it. And I don't know if you ever had the rock in your store, but this is your chance, because here it is, the rock. But it's a foil dispenser, not a wrestler. But it does a lot of things that the wrestler also does, because it's very, well, not very, it's a little bit heavy. And next to the heaviness and the anti-skid feet, it won't fall off your counter when you pull the foil like a wrestler. So pull it, it won't fall off. You don't want it to fall on the ground, do you? Also, because foil tends to roll back because it's static, so it wants to go back to the roll. We have this patented roll system, it makes it anti-static, so it won't roll back. Next to the foil brackets over here, it will go here. With these holes on the side, you can grab the foil from there. Then also, as you can see, with over here, the foil is in a kind of locked shape. So the foil is in a headlock, won't move. So let's do one like that. It has sharp teeth, so you have to look out for that, but that will make it more easy for the foil to tear. And then you have one side which is very pretty, and the other side where you want to put the sticker, because if you like it and you want it, put a sticker on it. Over there. Yeah, we will pack the rest of the cheeses later on. No worries, no cheese will be harmed during this webinar. But we will go to the next one, because as I just told you, you want to let your customers taste the heart of the cheese. It's the most tastiest part. So we'll go back to there, because I just had the heart, this part. And maybe you want to use this part or sell it for, I don't know, more money maybe. But also you want your customers to taste this part. So when you open your store and you want to have these little tasting blocks, we'll use this part for it. This time I will remove the rind, but as I just said, this can be used as a cutting board. So I will. Here you have it. We take the rind off, a wiggle, and I will wibble again. There you go. Here we go. So then we have the blockbuster. As I look now, maybe you do want very little blocks because then they well, less blocks means more air into your mouth, and the cheese will also taste even better. But some people like bigger blocks. With the blockers, you can cut 8mm blocks, you can cut 60mm blocks and 24mm blocks, but also fries and slices. Now these are 8mm. So let's say I wanted to 16. I just remove it. Let's put it. Can I give it to my assistant?
Yes. Thank you.
Here you are. And then I have these other with the 16mm. Put it on there. This is for changing the wires. On there. Next. So hereby you see that also if you want to have 8mm blocks and 60mm blocks, you can get an extra pair of cutting windows, so you can change them over time. So now let's make the blocks. You have this block. At first you want to put it up straight because then you get big slices, and big slices are easier to rotate because you have to get it out one time to rotate it and do two other cuts. So let's do the first one. Oh, one wire broke. Great. Now I have to show you how I have to. Let's just finish this one. Here you go. So I will change a wire for you live. Over here, I have these pair wires. And you have to make sure the wires are tensioned properly. Because when they're too loose, let me get the right one. When they're too loose, they will bend too much, and it won't go through the cheese completely. So righty tighty, lefty loosey. There are little butterfly bolts in here where the loop will go onto, and on the other side there's a ball. So let's get it in there.
No pressure, Tom.
Yes. Come on, get in there, Lewis.
Can I be of any assistance to you?
Yeah, well, maybe I have to get it out because I'm doing acrobatics right now.
It's like you could maybe play it as a harp
It does look like.
and sing. I'm gonna get you singing, girl.
It's a great tool for the cheese cookie dough.
It is. Ooh.
Well,
So, but you've already done your slices, so why do you need that one again? Because surely you're just going across the other way.
Yeah.
we'll use, I'll put it on this side then. So now we have created the slices. And next to slices come fries. Slices, fries, cubes. So then we just had it like this. Then you put it down.
Okay.
Then you have step 2. Oh, I had to do this one first. So here you see, now you have
Flat fries.
flat fries. But I had to use this one first. That's a beginner mistake. I made a beginner mistake for you. And to do that,
Don't worry, we get the gist. We get the gist, Tom. Don't worry.
but it's a good example to show you why you should the other one first, should use the other one first. But it was kind of hard to get out without the cheese falling apart. But now we'll go to the other one. See it falling apart. Here we have it. Cubes, but they're flat because one wire broke. Okay, here you see it. These nice 16 millimeter cubes. We will serve this tomorrow with our colleagues during lunch. Yeah, so now we are here. How are we in time?
We're good. We have 20 minutes left, I think.
Okay, perfect. So we had the blockbuster for the blocks to taste, let your customers taste the heart of the cheese and win their heart. But now we'll go to the other side again. Come with me.
Cool.
Oh, traffic bump. So here we are. I have two more things to show you, and these are the knives, and these are the Roqueforts. Yeah, like I told you, when you cut with knives, cheese will crumble more easy. That's why at first we have multiple kind of knives, and also we have, as you can see, different colored knives and colored cutting boards. Why is that? Well, when you have a cheese block with let's say washed rinds, external white mold, internal blue mold cheeses, you can't cut them with the same knife, but because you will get cross contamination. Therefore, we advise to have a red cheese board, a white cheese board, and a blue cheese board. Red bacteria washed rind, like Port Salut, for example. Then you will have the white external mold for brie, and then you have the blue for blue veined cheese, like Blue Stilton.
Yes.
Normally we like to cut Roquefort because this is the Roquefort, but now we're with the Academy of Cheese from England. We thought, let's go to Blue Stilton. So we have also with these knives, you have red, white, blue, and you have different kind of shapes. I would pay attention because you can win this. So what's the difference? Here we have the semi-hard cheese knife. This is a big blade. You can cut it. You can cut big cheeses with it, and it's just strong. Then we have the soft cheese knife. Because it is very thin, it won't stick to your cheese. So with brie, for example, it won't stick to it. It will go through it more easy, won't damage the cheese, and it will be less hard. Then we have the multi-purpose knife. Also, it has these holes in it for the same reason why this knife is very thin, to make less contact with the cheese. But it also has two pins, so you can serve some cheeses to your customer, for example. But it also has a serrated edge. That's because a multi-purpose knife not only gets used for cheeses, but also for packaging. And normally, when you have a Roquefort, it can be packed in aluminium foil. And when you cut aluminium foil with knives, they will get dull very quick. So therefore, this has a serrated edge, and that won't happen. So then let's move on. Oh, next to red, white, and blue, we also have black. That's for fancy cutting. So now, the Roqueforts. Yeah, you use the wire. So when cutting with a knife, it breaks the cheese, could break cheese, and also cheeses that can be cut on the Roqueforts used to be very delicate. Also, Roquefort, it's quite soft, can be quite hard to make straight cuts because at first you use this, a Roquefort bow, but when you use it, it's kind of hard to make really a straight cut. And also, when you get to the bottom, it's not through the cheese yet because it's on your cutting plateau. With little force, when you push it down, the wire will get into the groove and through the cheese. The wire can be removed very easy, like this, because wires once in a while they will break. But with this machine you don't have to tension it like really hard, because cheeses you cut with it are also not that hard. Blue Stilton is harder than Roquefort. Yeah, it has a spring mechanism, so you can cut just as quick as Lewis Hamilton can ride, and it will get up automatically again. So the cutting plateau it is on is marked with a blue dot. Can we see it, the blue dot? We also have one with a white dot. Same reason for the cutting boards. You can switch it very quick from white external mold to blue internal mold to prevent cross-contamination. You do have to wipe the wire then. So let's make a cut. We see these grooves on the plateau. They could be used as an indication for how big the pieces you want to cut. They also give a place for the moist that will come out of the cheese, because cheese like this tend to have some moist in it and you don't want it to spill on your counter. So we have it. Let's say my customer wants a piece that is this big. You push it through like this, and there you have it. Very easy way of making this, cutting
Tom,
it.
we've got Harold Sayer asking, can you use this for semi-hard cheeses as well, or only
Yeah.
soft?
Well, semi-hard cheeses, I think it will be heavier, and the wire is a little bit thicker than the other one. We could try it. Shall I try it? Let's try it now.
Oh,
I have trust in the products.
that's quite a young Gouda, isn't it, that you've got there?
Yeah, it's like semi-young. So I will remove the rind because I don't think it will go through the rind.
Was there any particular cheese, Harold, that you were thinking of? Tell me in the Q&A or in the chat.
Switch this one. So I really like this interaction.
Oh, Harold's saying Gouda was one of them, so that's good. I love the fact that you can just change that base from your
very easy to change with the
with your cheese types, your styles.
So
We've got someone saying, I really wish Christopher is saying, I really wish that base could rotate.
Yeah, I heard it more often. Well, good that you were talking to the designer, because maybe I will implement it one time.
This is good. We could have a whole Q&A session on what we would really like.
Well, I've not done this before, but let's try.
Tom is originally a product designer with BOSKA. Yeah, well done.
Possible.
And is now a category manager and designer. So we're talking to the right guy if you've got any wish list of your cheese tools. Fantastic.
I have to hear them. Because I have to hear it from you guys. You cut more cheese than I do. So here we go. It is possible for the Gouda. I don't have harder cheeses right now. Maybe I'll try in the future. It's a good test. Harold, was it right?
Fantastic. Thank you for demoing.
Thank you, Harold. So yeah, I think we are there.
Maybe we can show the commander.
Yeah, let me show you the for the really hard cheese.
For the Parmesan, yeah.
I have to make some space then.
I do have another question actually while you're making your space. Does the film dispenser, the one you're touching now, which you call foil, we call it film, dispenser, can that be wall mountable? Would it still work?
This
Or
one,
does it need to be on a flat surface?
yes, this one needs to be at a flat surface. Also because the way it is, the film roll is into this shape. It is designed for on the counter.
Okay.
But yeah, it will be a good idea to think about one that can be mounted onto the wall.
Yeah.
So let me ask you a question. Hans, for who has the foil dispenser mounted on the wall instead of on the counter? I'm actually quite curious how many people do like to have it on the wall.
Okay. Tell me in the chat, guys, if you would like it like it on the like it on the, that sounds all wrong. If you would like your cling film dispenser mounted on the wall or happy with it on the counter. It's those lethal serrated edges to cut the cling film, isn't it?
Yeah, it also, the serrated edges is very sharp, and when it's on you walk next to it, could be dangerous. It's real sharp.
Yeah.
Oh, we get some answers.
Oh, there are a lot of
We're
people.
getting some answers.
Nice.
I can't read them myself, but
I have that one and it's perfect for me. We're looking for a wall mounted one. Ours is on the back counter, not on the counter.
okay.
We'll have a look. You'll have the chat afterwards as well. We'll send you a copy of the chat so you can have a look.
So then we have the Parm Pro. So like I really hard cheeses, it could be kind of hard to use this one. Therefore we have this machine, the Parm Pro. There will be a new one coming someday, but that's for in the future, because now we have this one. Let me take the part that I already cut, because as you can see, I can take the wire out. I will show the bottom of the machine, and there's an axle, and the wire is twisted around the axle by twisting the crank. The crank will stick into your counter, but when you're not using it, you can fold it out so it won't get into your jewelry. Here you are. So then you twist it and pull it up. This really works for a really hard cheeses also for Parmesan. It's also a thicker wire. It's 0.8 millimeters thick. And it's cut. Here you go. Oh. So now it goes really easy because it's softer cheese, but also with cheeses like Parmesan, it really works. We last week, actually 2 weeks ago, we used a mimolette with this one and it worked perfectly. And mimolette is really hard.
Just show us again how you did that. So
yeah,
you just put the wire over the top of the cheese.
And at can I can't go to the on this side. There's a come to this side of the counter.
Okay.
With the camera, can we do that?
Oh dear.
Ooh, that's a bit wobbly, maybe.
Let me just do this.
So did you hook the wire under the board on that side?
Yeah, here you come to me. Grab the microphone. Here we are. Hi. So on the bottom, we have the crank over here, and it's attached to this one. So when I pull it out, it will twist. Let's see. And then I put the cheese on here, and I will
Okay.
wind it up again. So I have to
It's
position it.
just, it's like a loop.
Yeah, and then you tension the wire by twisting it, and then you see it goes through
Whoa.
easy. So for really hot cheeses, well, this has a waxed coating, so that's maybe you had to score it. But with the hardest cheeses, it's really easy to go through.
Did you have to score the mimolette when you did the mimolette?
Yes, I did, because the rind of the mimolette was really hard, and you have to score the beginning of
Yeah.
the knife. But I only did the beginning. After that, it went through very easy.
Wow. Cool.
So yeah, I think my 45 minutes are almost done. Yeah, let's do some question round, I think. Do we have time for that?
Yeah, I think we've answered all. If does anybody have any more questions, do fire them into the Q&A or into the chat. We've had Laura. Hi Laura, she's in Northern Ireland from Indie Food. That was very satisfying to watch from the other side of the counter. So thank you to your camera person for moving that around. The hardest, Galina. Hi, Galina is in Paris. Hello, thank you for joining us. The hardest cheese to cut is 4 years old Gouda. Extra old mimolette is a piece of cake comparing to 4-year-old Gouda.
Oh, great. Let's try.
We're close to Gouda, so let's get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I love that guy with in your backdrop with that big Dutch rocker knife. It's amazing.
Yeah, he's actually he is called Michelin star chef Ricardo Eden.
So tell us a little bit about wastage and the benefits of using some of these tools. I think many of our retailers in the UK, when the pandemic hit and lockdown, many were mail ordering cheeses. So presumably a lot of these tools can speed up cutting for when you need to cut up whole cheeses to pre-pack to mail order.
Yeah, it is
into small pieces for retail sale.
Quickest thing you could have is to have one Cheese-O-Matic and 2 Divide-O-Matics, and then you have like a line of cheese cutting, because you get it through half, hard out wedges. But I really recommend just using the wire, because you can cut really fast with a wire. And what I thought about cutting with a knife, it takes practice, and that means waste. And also, we see that a lot of stores have young personnel who come work there, and you don't want a big learning curve for it, because the personnel really rotates very quickly. So using a wire cutting machine really lets them cut more easy, and they don't have the big learning curve. And also it's less waste, because no cheese is wasted by miscutting.
I love the way those those shelves at the back actually move to the shape of the cheese on that Cheese-O-Matic on the cutter, not shelves, the stops.
The cheese stoppers, indeed.
Stops, yeah. And if people want to buy BOSKA professional tools, because this is a trade webinar, so all the people here are professionals. What's the score? Because this has always been difficult in the UK previously, and I know this is something that we're working to resolve, and so that they're readily available. So what's the lowdown?
It was really difficult to buy BOSKA in the UK, indeed, but from next month, from March.
No, next month is May.
May. I'm sorry. It's already late
It
here.
begins with the same letter. It's fine.
From next month, that one with the M, you can buy our tools, all our tools on Nisbets.
Okay, that's cool. So Nisbets, everyone, is
It will be the
I'm
big.
sure you know of it. A
You-
lot of chefs use Nisbets, and I think they've got stores, haven't they? They have got stores in the big cities. You can actually walk into a shop, but majority of it is online.
Maybe try some.
Yeah. So Nisbets, and then also it's on Amazon, aren't you?
Yeah, but I believe the professional tools are not, but I'm not actually really sure.
I think they're working on
No.
it well. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
I can give is to use cheese dummies, because what we also see is that well, seeing cheese makes you buy cheese, but you can't get all these real cheese over here because they will yeah, they are, you can't keep them forever, but you want to have your cheese store stacked with cheese, so using dummies,
Looks fantastic.
nobody notices they are fake. Everyone who sees it, really, a lot of people are like, are all those cheese shops filled with fake cheese? And it is. It is. So the dummies, and they're unbreakable, as you can see, and light. They're lightweight. So I really recommend
Crispy.
stacking your cheese shop with fake cheeses, with cheese dummies, and
And
just you put a real.
and tell us, Tom, it's not just Goudas that you have as fake cheeses. I can see on the front counter here you've got other cheeses, haven't you? Other shapes, as it were. Rochebauer on there.
These shapes, and on the front we can also maybe move the camera a bit down, because as you can see, also you have Rock Baron, Cambozola, or Brie.
This is all fake?
This is all fake.
Wow. Tête de moi.
Fresh cheeses, tête de moine, with the Bosca krulling. Yeah, Saint-Aubrais.
Okay,
Hello.
super people.
Castello. And also, the cheeses can have the etiquette, right? And then they look even more real.
Yeah, so you can have them with the brands on if you're stocking that brand.
Can
That's
be
brilliant.
Personalized as well.
Okay, fantastic. Tom, you've been amazing. Thank you for attending and spending time with us this evening. Thank you so much to Tom and Alethra for putting on such an amazing display and talking us through those tools. And I just think some of them are fantastic and really well worth. We're using the Commander Pro Plus, and just those suckered feet have made so much difference. And we're not cutting cheese all day, every day. So I think they're well worth it. Everybody's saying thank you in the chat. You guys, anything you want to say?
Well, thank you very much for hosting us.
Yes.
Okay, have a good week. Go and practice with your tools. And lovely to see you all. Take care, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
And thank
Thank
everyone
you, guys.
to be here. Thanks to everyone.
Yes. Well done.
Goodbye. Bye-bye.